Hello, I'm Dan Norenberg, advisor, coach, and consultant to executive and strategic leadership teams. Welcome to NORENBERG'S 90 Seconds. In these short clips, I'm going to share with you a leadership situation, the challenge, struggle, or blind spot this created for a leader. And then in about 90 seconds, I'll tell you about the idea, the tool, or the insight that this leader and I discussed to help them be more successful. And in doing so, should you encounter a situation similar to this at some point in your future, you'll have an additional resource to help you be more effective. Let me say a couple words about today's situation. I was coaching an executive team that wanted to reintroduce their strategic direction and progress at a town hall meeting to the company's top leaders. The CEO had a calendar conflict, as a meeting with government regulatory officials was scheduled at the same time as this town hall meeting. Who will present our strategy and manage the Q&A at the upcoming town hall, the CEO asked his executive team. There was an uncomfortable silence, and then one of the executives spoke up and said, "If our CEO is out, we have no choice but to postpone this meeting." And several other executives around the table nodded their head. Now the CEO looked at me and he asked if I had any ideas or tips to help them in this situation. I had a few ideas that I shared with the CEO and his team. I'd like to share those with you now, anonymously of course. So this is NORENBERG'S 90 Seconds. You can start that clock. Imagine for a moment that your CEO didn't have a scheduling conflict. Imagine he got hit by a bus, not fatally, but serious enough where he'd need to take 6 months off to completely recover. If that were the case, would you recommend postponing this important strategy meeting for 6 months, I ask? There was some discussion, and then one of the leaders said, well, that would be different because if our CEO was out for that length of time, we'd certainly get an interim CEO that would carry us forward until he was healthy enough to return. Here's something to think about, I said. You've all been responsible for creating this strategy. You've all made contributions. You've all been accountable to the strategy because you've included your functional priorities in the overall strategy. But being responsible and being accountable is not the same as taking ownership. If you really owned the strategy that you helped create, every single one of you would be fighting for the opportunity to present this strategy at the town hall meeting to the top leaders that report into this executive team. Now you tell me which option creates more strategic ownership. Waiting for the CEO to get a date free in his calendar to present the strategy, or one or more of you stand up, present the strategy, and manage the Q&A. Being a member of the executive team is more than being responsible or accountable to your function. Ownership belongs to everyone in the executive team, not only the CEO. That's NORENBERG'S 90 Seconds. Thanks for joining me.